Hello! In this video, I'll be going over a 2,000-pound gaming PC that didn't quite live up to its price tag. When I checked the specs, I found a 7700 XT inside, EXPO disabled, and a few other avoidable mistakes. Let's go through the parts list together and see what went wrong. Let's start with the CPU. They went with a 7800X3D, which honestly isn't a bad choice for a 2,000-pound PC. Right now, it's great value at about 333 quid, but this system was built back in February or early March, right when the launch of the 9800X3D caused prices of all X3D chips to spike. Even though prices had started to settle, the 7800X3D was still around £430. Pricey, yes, but still a solid pick, especially if you were playing mostly competitive titles, so that part makes some sense. Next, the CPU cooler. Since the PC was sitting on the floor, I couldn't see much, but from what I did see, I could tell it was something premium. For this list, I'll just assume it was one of the cheaper 360mm NZXT Krakens that matched their case's black aesthetic. Black, some RGB, priced at 165 quid today, about £170 back then. Now, let's move on to the motherboard. Since I enabled EXPO, I got into the BIOS and it was definitely an ASUS board. But here's the slightly weird part. It had blue accents and EXPO was tucked away in the AI tweaker tab. That felt odd enough that I decided to look it up. Apparently, this interface is used on most ASUS Prime and ProArt motherboards. I doubt they picked a ProArt since this was a gaming-only machine. So, let's assume it was an ASUS Prime X670E Pro, because of course, it has to be a Pro. They could have also gone with an X870, B650, or B850. Anyway, it's 255 quid right now. Back when this PC was built, it was only about 5 more. Feature-wise, it's solid, though you could have gone with a board in the 170-200 pound range for basically the same experience. Not a terrible choice, but not the most cost-efficient either. Alright, onto the RAM. Since I enabled EXPO, I saw the profile. It was running at 6400 megatransfers per second CL32 with good timings. I don't remember the exact numbers, but overall, this was actually a really solid choice. And let me just pause here for a second to share my experience with memory overclocking. Why the heck doesn't anybody enable it? Every other system I touch has 6,000 plus megatransfers per second memory stuck at 4800 with CL40. Even my old pre-built had its 3200 megatransfers per second kit locked down to 2400, even though the 3200 profile was perfectly stable. Anyway, back to the RAM. 6400 megatransfers per second is a little above the 6000 megatransfers sweet spot, but with a 2,000-pound budget, overshooting a bit is expected. At least they spent money in the right place here. It was 32 gigabytes, so for this list, let's go with this Corsair kit for 100 quid today, 104 back then. Next is storage. They had one SSD and one HDD. The SSD was a 2TB Samsung 990 Pro, which, honestly, I'd call overkill for a gaming-only PC. It was priced well above the 980 Pro, and its full potential would never be used. The heaviest load it would see is downloading gains at 500 megabits per second, or even 1 gigabit, which doesn't come close to what that drive can handle. Sure, it might shave a fraction of a second off startup times, but that's it. Anyway, it's about 140 now, and was £152 back then. As for the hard drive, I didn't check at all. I'll assume it was 4 terabytes, though I can't be sure. Let's just pick a common one, a 4 terabyte Seagate Barracuda. That's £82 now, and back then around 90. Now, we reach the biggest blunder of the whole build, the RX 7700 XT. Some quick context. Literally a week before I saw this PC, my friend asked me to put together a setup for under £1,000. That included a 1080p 180Hz monitor, which left about $900 for the PC. And in that build, I used the exact same 7700 XT because it was the cheapest model at the time. But here, in this 2,000-pound desktop, they paired that same budget-friendly GPU with the best gaming CPU on the market just a few months earlier. Right now, the 7700 XT is £374, back then $390. Anyway, let's move on. The case. That floor-mounted box was a Corsair 6500D Airflow. Yes, that's 6500D. It's £130 now, but when they built it, it was $160. And I have no idea what PSU they had, so let's just pick this 850-watt 2025 Corsair RMX. Oh, it was $120, which I'd call pretty pricey. And this rounds up this abomination of a PC totaling £1,875. But after recording, I realized something. The Corsair 6500D doesn't come with any fans, which means they had to buy some separately. I'm fairly sure they were Corsair IQ Link fans. Searching now, there are two options, one set at 109 quid and another cheaper set. The 109-pound pack looks exactly like what I saw at the front of the case. And back when they bought them, a 3-pack was £135. Oh boy, they managed to spend more on 3 fans than on the RAM. So that pushes the total up to £2,010, almost exactly what the owner claimed to have spent. And here's an approximate visualization of this build. So yeah, when you see anyone trying to build a PC, make sure they know what they're doing.